Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ServiceNow 911. We are continuing the series of ITIL Foundation, ITIL Fundamentals. It's been a long time, but now I will be regular in all these videos. Okay. So now today we understand three important concepts. Very basic. What is service? What is IT service? And what is ITSM? These three you must know to understand basics of ITIL. So let's share my screen. So the very first one is service. What is a service? A service is something a provider does for a consumer to create value for both parties. While many services involve IT, not all services are IT services. So the definition is saying that we have two parties here. One is service provider, which is providing the service. Second is service consumer, which is consuming the service. In both the cases, for both of these parties, there should be some value created and both of these parties should be benefited by it. And if that is happening, then we call it as a service. Okay. You can measure this value in various other ways like monetary, profits, non-monetary, your reputation. Okay, there are various advantages, there are various ways to measure these services, whether this value which is provided by the services by service provider to service consumer. Here I have given the example of a haircut. A haircut is a service that provides value to the customers, even though IT might be used here for booking appointments. Okay. So this is not a complete IT service, but it is a service because we are getting the value from it. But IT is not the core of that particular service. Though we are using IT either for booking appointment or doing the payment, but it is not completely dependent on that, right? It is not completely dependent on IT. You can pay by cash, or you can go without appointment, or you can, do appointment by any other mean. So that's why this is a simple service. It is not an IT service. So now let's move to the next topic. That is what is IT service. You see, an IT service is a service where IT is at the core. It means without IT, the service is not at all possible. Or even though it is possible, it is very, very difficult. Okay. So an IT service is a service where IT is at the core, enabling the provider to deliver value. Okay. IT services are essential and cannot be provided without IT. I told you this. Now let's move to the example. Microsoft 365 and AWS are the IT services because they rely entirely on IT infrastructure. So cloud services are complete IT services because if you do not have IT infrastructure there, if you do not have servers, if you do not have network, the providing service of cloud is not at all possible. That's why it is a complete IT service because though IT is at the core here. Okay, so this is the difference between a service and an IT service. Both are same, but dependency on IT should be there if you call it as a IT service. Rest, in both the cases, we have service provider as well as we have service consumer, and there is a value associated with that service. I hope you got it. Now let's move to ITSM. What is IT service management? So ITSM refer to the structured process and management practices used to design, deliver, and manage IT services efficiently. ITSM ensures that IT services provide value while minimizing the cost and risk to the consumer. So we know what is an IT service. Then now we are standardizing these IT services so that it will have maximum output, but minimal, cost and everything risk associated with it. Why we are doing that and on what basis we are doing that? We are doing that on the basis of our experience, our outcome, our interaction with the customers. That's why if you see ServiceNow is providing out-of-box things. So what are these out-of-box processes which ServiceNow is providing? And why even ServiceNow is providing all these things? Because ServiceNow has output, ServiceNow has, experience, ServiceNow has inputs from the customers. Okay, that's why ServiceNow is providing a out-of-box instant process, out-of-box, problem management process, and various others, change management. These all out of box things are based on 100% experience thing, 100% input from the customers. That's why ServiceNow is standardizing all these things and provide it as a out of box things to all its customers. So you have the option to customize it, but most of the people are using it directly because they know they trust ServiceNow and its judgment, so that they provide complete IT service management pack to you. So if you see the example here, an IT department using ITSM practices to manage and support cloud services for a company. So that IT department is using standard processes, and these standard processes are based on various recommendations, real-time implementation experiences, and all and all. After all these things, after analyzing all these things, they come up with a particular service, or they come up with a workflow of that particular service, and they are adhering to it, so that it will cost minimum, it will have minimum risk and maximum benefits. There may be exceptions, but they can be taken care of. But generally, they follow a standard process, and that's what we call it at ITSM. So in this video, we understand what is service, what is IT service, and what is ITSM. If you have any question, let me know. I will come up with more such questions so that it will clear your concepts. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.